everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trail Pass. So we have the 650 out here. Caleb's out fueling up the 850. We're at Trailhead Resort, and we are ready to hit some trails and compare these two machines. So here's my 2022 Outlander 650, which is a new machine to me. I did purchase it used, and we do have a full build series on the channel as well if you're interested in that. But we did do a couple things. So this is just a DPS model. It's not an XT, so it didn't come with the winch or bumpers or anything like that. We are running the Expedition bumpers, and we also have switched out to wheels off an older Outlander and these Tusk tires, which are very, very similar to a bighorn type pattern. They call them the trilobites, but they are a 26-inch, still the same size as stock, but we do have a little bit larger sidewall there since we're just running the 12-inch rims. Now moving up here to the 850, this is an XT model. So aside from this rear box and the Kimimoto fender bag there, this is how it comes. It does come with the bumpers and everything else. It does come with that 850 engine. So this one makes about 78 horsepower compared to this one's 62 horsepower. So about a 16 horsepower swing. But also here on the XT 850, you do get the digital encrypted security system. So the key is this little doodad right here. And you also get the intelligent throttle control, which allows you to go in between work mode, standard mode, and sport mode. Also on the 2023 models, you have an intelligent engine braking setting, so you can go between more and less aggressive engine braking. So these machines are very similar, but they do have a couple key differences depending on what you might be looking for. Now, one thing that is apparent here on the trails is just how much snappier this thing is in sport mode and in normal mode. It is really, really incredible. And with this intelligent throttle control, it is a throttle by wire, so it's very, very light to go between the different throttle positions. This one is just a standard old school throttle cable. So again, depending on what you might like, they do offer all sorts of different things. Now, unfortunately, the 2022 is the last year for the 650. Now, if you're going for a 2023 model, the larger Outlanders start with the 850 and then go up to the 1000. And again, they have all different types of trim levels depending on what you might want. Trying out work mode in the rocks. It really, really dumps that throttle down. Pretty impressive. Normal mode's not crazy jumpy, but that electronic throttle is so light. See, look, you can really takes a lot of the movement out of it. Super smooth. Work mode off, back into normal mode. XT model did come with these bumpers. They are called the XT bumpers, but you can buy them for any other machine that you might have. Now, I did talk about these Expedition bumpers here for the 650, and you can see they have a lot more lower protection, and it is more of a V-shaped bumper compared to the straight lines of the XT bumper. Now, moving around here to the back, you can see the rear bumpers actually are pretty similar. But this one has the vertical supports in here as well. And just pushing on these two bumpers, this one does feel a little bit more beefy. So again, depending on what you might want, you could definitely add those to either machine. Now, if you did buy an XT, is it worth going ahead and scrapping those bumpers to go with Expedition bumpers? I'm not 100% sure on that. I mean, if you bent one up, could you replace it with an Expedition bumper? Absolutely, but I don't think I would take those bumpers off to run these. Also, these Expedition bumpers are a little bit more expensive. Here. Think?
This style tire just feels better.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not saying these Terra Crosses are bad, but for this mixed terrain, I mean, we got the sand, you got the clay mud, you got the rock. I think a Bighorn style, I mean, whether it's the Tusk Trilobite or whether it's Bighorns or whether it's...
If you look at it, the backs aren't terrible for like the flatness of the tread.
Right.
But the front is very much a balloon type where these are just flat across.
Right. Yeah, it is a big difference in the profile. For two tires, they're the same size. I mean, the wheel size is different, but the tires themselves are the exact same size, and they couldn't look more different at all. So we're back here in the garage now, and we've had a lot of time to digest exactly what the differences are between this 650 and Caleb's 850. So first off, right off the bat, the Outlander is an awesome four-wheeler. Whether you have a 650, 850, 1000, whatever that is, they do share the chassis and a lot of similar components. And honestly, this is one of the most comfortable and fun four-wheelers I think you could buy even today. The chassis is fantastic. We rode a lot of 100 plus mile days on trails. And honestly, you get off the four-wheeler and you get ready for the next day and you're not super sore waking up, at least not super sore, depending on what your riding style is. But honestly, really love these machines. Very comfortable, insanely capable. Go a lot more places than I feel comfortable going. This four-wheeler is just really, really awesome. Next off is that powertrain though. The 650 is a pretty old engine for Can-Am, makes a lot of really good low and mid-range torque, and just kind of chugs along like a tractor. You know, whether you just want to ease it up a hill or whether you want to rip, it still does make really good horsepower and feels really fast when you get into the power, but you have to be a little bit more intentional about it. So with Caleb's 850, the blue four-wheeler, definitely a lot more snappy throttle response, whether you're normal mode or sport mode. I think some of that definitely comes with the intelligent throttle control and the fact that the throttle is wire instead of the cable like this. So there's a lot less resistance. You can really hit the throttle a lot quicker and get into that power a lot quicker. But also, the power seems to be a little bit higher up in the RPM range, both the torque and the horsepower. It's a little bit more peaky, but definitely good power all the way throughout the rev range. It just doesn't really seem to pull a lot different feeling compared to the 650 until you really get up into the higher RPMs. So I thought that was really interesting to note. But I think the biggest takeaway that we both took from this are the tires. So we talked about these are Tusk tires. They're not a true Bighorn or Bighorn 2.0 from Maxxis, but anything in this tread pattern has really been good. We've even run some of the Amazon Special Sun F tires. They have a very similar tread pattern that's similar to a Bighorn as well. And certainly the cheaper tires don't hold up quite as well. More expensive tires normally do a little bit better. But really, this tread pattern and the way the block spacing is and everything is really, really good for the kind of East Coast riding that we do. In West Virginia, Kentucky, the western part of Virginia, we kind of have every sort of terrain that you can come across: the rocks, the mud, the sand. Even some hard pack and some highway driving kind of between the trails and that sort of thing. And these tires really, really do great. They do have a really square profile and hook up in really any kind of condition. And while the 14-inch wheels and the 26-inch ITP Terracross tires that come stock actually on this machine and the 850 XT are really nice looking and honestly one of the better stock setups out there, you definitely can't go wrong with this sort of upgrade. And honestly, I like having the smaller wheels as well because it does give you a little bit more flexibility with that sidewall. You can air down a little bit more, still have a nice healthy sidewall, and I think that helps with the ride quality as well. These machines definitely do handle well, but it's not about how hard you can take a corner without the tire coming off the bead. And if it was, heck, we'll just run bead locks. And actually, you might see that in an upcoming video as well. But overall, super, super impressed with both machines. But I think the best thing that you can do on any machine that you might have is put a good set of tires on it. But let me know what you think down in the comments section. We really had a lot of fun making this video. And let us know what you ride and what your preferred tire setup is. I think that'd be a really fun conversation. We'd love to hear from you down below. So thank you all so much for watching. Have a fantastic week, everybody. We'll catch you next time.